Opco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson, and he's Barry Trammell, and we're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. You can go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. We are going to pick games. We call it We Pick 'em. It's all college games. Lots of big ones. Not as many as last week, but some pretty decent ones. Let's start with this one in the SEC, Barry. Auburn going to Georgia, 6:15 on Saturday night. Who you got in this one?
Well, I'm going to take Auburn, and the Tigers did Georgia no favorites last week when Auburn lost to Texas A&M, and you could see sort of Auburn sort of sailing into this Georgia game, but now all of a sudden they got Gus Malzahn has his players' attention after losing to A&M. Georgia's been a hit and miss team. That loss to Florida has put them in danger of not even winning the beleaguered SEC East, so it's a big game for Georgia. Big game for Auburn. I don't think Auburn can get back into the national title discussion. However, I can produce a scenario that's not kooky, that Auburn still wins the SEC West. So, big game for Auburn. I think Auburn gets it done. Yeah,
I'm going with Auburn in this one as well. And I think as much as anything, that Georgia loss to Florida is clouding my memory. And maybe if I looked at it position by position, I would see that Auburn is definitely, they've got some areas of concern. Georgia might compete, might actually win. But I don't know. That Florida game was such a rout, and Georgia looked so overmatched. I just think Auburn is going to be the better team. And like you say, Barry, after losing last week, maybe they would look at this game differently if they were sort of riding high. But I think they're going to come in motivated. I like Auburn. All right, Barry, what about this game down in the state of Florida? Florida State going to Miami. Any chance the Seminoles lose that Saturday night game?
Well, the odds makers certainly think so. Florida State's not a big favorite, just 2 or 3 points, I think. So it's a strange line there for a team. Miami's been sort of just a mediocre team, had some decent games, but also had some duds. Got whacked pretty good by Nebraska, got whacked pretty good by Louisville. I think Florida State's going to win it, but I don't think it's going to be easy, and I think Miami will give them all they want. We know Al Golden's a good coach. I think he'll have some good players ready to go. I think Hurricanes play him tough, but the Seminoles survive.
Yeah, I'm going with Florida State in this one as well. And I have seen some of those odds makers. I think it was down to maybe even 1.5 at some point. Florida State's, line they're favored by, which is really surprising to me. But, it's a rivalry game, and rivalry games sometimes produce weird results. Close games where they're not expected to be, maybe blowouts where they're not expected to be. I think Florida State wins 10, 15 points, somewhere around that range. But I think it could be a tight game going into the fourth quarter because of the rivalry nature of the game. Miami's going to be looking to, not only beat their in-state rival, but maybe score that upset that gets Florida State knocked out of the national championship picture. I'm sure that'll be plenty of motivation for Miami. All right, Barry, what about this matchup? This one's really the big one of the week. Mississippi State at Alabama. State still atop the rankings, number 1. Alabama now 5. It's 2:30 on Saturday. Who wins?
Well, I think Alabama, is going to win. What's interesting is Alabama is a much bigger favorite against the number 1 ranked team in America than Florida State is against a team that's basically unranked, Miami. So I'm a little bit mixed up there, but Mississippi State has played very solid, but Alabama has shown not just the usual Alabama prominence, the usual Alabama dominance, but Alabama showed some grit this year. They won a game last week at LSU. It had no business of winning, but just sort of gutted it out. Yep. So I think Alabama's going to win, and if it does, I think it's going to raise some interesting questions about the college football playoff. This elevates Alabama into the top probably 3. Mississippi State won't drop far. This could be a bad news game for TCU.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, I'm going to go with Alabama in this one as well. And maybe it's the cold, cruel nature of college football that I'm coming around to. It's been a rough year in the state here with OU and OSU. I'm picking Florida State to win. I'm picking Alabama to win. Sort of the, dark forces in college football. I just think Alabama at home, if they had to go to state, I think I'd pick Mississippi State to win. But at Alabama, crowd's going to be going crazy. They're going to see this as a chance to really, solidify their status as a team that belongs in the college football playoff. I think Alabama wins. It's a cold, cruel world in college football. All right, Barry, what about OU going to Texas Tech, 2:30 on Saturday? It's not a night game in Lubbock, but weird things can happen out there.
Well, they can. We used to go out there all the time and watch Texas Tech win every year. Whether they're playing OU or OSU, didn't matter. It's automatic. Tech's going to win. Now, Tech can't seem to win against the state schools in Lubbock. So I think the Sooners are going to win. Texas Tech is sort of a ghost of a team, really. Not very good to start with. Have had a lot of injuries, quarterback issues. Can't stop the run. I expect OU to rush for about 400 yards on Saturday, take out some frustrations. It's not going to fix anything that's ill in Norman, but it will make everybody feel better for one Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going with OU as well. And I think under slightly different circumstances, if Tech was a little bit better defensively, but, like Barry said, I think the rushing yards could be off the charts. Maybe not Iowa State-like for OU, but definitely high. They are likely, possibly going to start Cody Thomas at quarterback. We'll wait to hear more about Trevor Knight's availability for this game. But, even if they have to start Cody Thomas, if he just hands it off a bunch, if they want to start a couple running backs back there, just go Wildcat a bunch against Tech. I think that might work too. So I don't think that'll be a big concern. And by the way, Tech starting its own reserve quarterback, a freshman walk-on, Vincent Testaverde. All right, Barry, what about this one? Texas at Oklahoma State, 6:30 on Saturday night. Cowboys trying to get bowl eligible. Longhorns trying to get bowl eligible. Who does?
I think it's going to be Texas. I've just seen nothing out of Oklahoma State really since September that makes me think this is a team capable of playing a good, solid game. And Texas has improved. Texas has become a pretty credible squad. Beat West Virginia, played Oklahoma tough down in Dallas, played Baylor tough, for crying out loud. This is a solid team. They're not very good on offense. They just run it and then punt it. That's about all they're interested in. But they play good defense. You don't have to play great defense against OSU to hold them down. It's going to be very tough for the Cowboys to score. I think Texas is going to win.
Yeah, I got Texas winning this one as well. And a week ago today, I would have picked OSU. But that was before Texas beat West Virginia, and you see this trend of the Longhorns going this way, and as Barry said, the trend on the Cowboys is not going up. They're going different directions, and I think right now it's really hard to pick OSU to magically turn that around. Now, maybe they will. I think there's a possibility that they win. I don't think it's a slam dunk that Texas goes into Stillwater and wins. But it just seems like that these teams are trending in opposite directions. If Texas would have come into this game not playing for bowl eligibility, really stumbling, I think OSU has all the motivation on senior day, last home game, all those things. I think they're still motivated to win and get bowl eligible. I just think Texas is playing better right now, and I got to pick the Longhorns. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.